Hey guys, Bites Pump here, bringing you another Mythic Plus gameplay and commentary video. Today we're doing a bit differently. I'll be joining you today watching me play and then commenting on all my choices and whatever I'm doing, especially the mistakes, so we can highlight those. For talents, I'm running a pretty standard kind of hybrid build, picking up Infected Claws and Pestilent Pustules for some extra AoE, and then running Blight, Pact, and Armory of the Damned for solid AoE as well as good single target. Death Reach specifically because it's a sanguine week, so we can get some extra death grips up, help our tank pull out those mobs from the sanguine pools, and then Wraithwalk because mobility is nice. For trinkets, I'm running Overwhelming Power Crystal and Anima Fuel Emitter. It's a good combo, with the Power Crystal being your active trinket, 1.5 minute cooldown, fits nicely into your cooldowns, and with Fuel Emitter is just generally good value. For legendary, I'm running Deadliest Coil. This is because I do not have Frenzy Monstrosity. I would have run Frenzy Monstrosity if I had that legendary. Alright, for conduits, it's Eternal Hunger. That's the one you obviously pick up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so first things off, we're going to start with the Armory pre-pull tactic. I saw quite a lot of people commenting on that the last time that I hadn't seen it. This time around, I actually failed doing it. So what happened there is that I pressed Armory Dead too late, which means that the timer started, and I used Army right after the key went live. That's fine in a way. I'm going to lose some army off time, but it would have been better if I could have precasted army, so pressed it right before the key went in. That makes it so that your ghoul that gets summoned in that 4-second window, every ghoul that gets summoned after the key starts, you get to keep that ghoul. So I could have then waited and used army on this first ad and kind of save myself or earn myself some damage. That went down quite nicely. I popped pretty much all my cooldowns on it to burst it down. It has quite a lot of HP. So for this next pack, I'm pretty much going to have nothing to deal heavier damage. But that's okay. You know, not every pack is going to be a huge pack where you deal tons and tons of damage. So you will see that I use quite a lot of death calls, even though there are like 3 or 4 targets. And that's mainly because I'm running the Deadliest Coil legendary. So I'm trying to extend my Dark Transformation window, and I'm trying to also align my cooldowns. This pack is quite a normal opening. We start off with some Tabbering Festoon Strike, dumping some Runic Power, and popping down our Death and Decay. Now, unfortunately, the tank moved the ads away from Death and Decay, and that kind of always happens when you get this big AoE on the floor. But it was still a decent pack. I was top damage on that one. Not too bad. This is another one where I don't have my cooldowns, so I open up with Outbreak. Always open up with Unholy Blight if you have that ready. Some nice tap targeting, and then I actually pop my cooldowns midway through the pack. I feel like that could have been a mistake, would have to see, but I'm most likely not going to get the most out of cooldowns. You can see that Unholy Blight duration. Yeah, I don't know. I did get full Unholy Blight duration. I did get full Dark Transformation duration, but it could have possibly been better to just save the cooldowns and have them all up for the next pack. But as you see how it turns out, we actually didn't pull anything, so it was actually a good call from my end. I actually had no idea that this was the pulls we were going to make, so it was just luck, essentially. Now I use Abomination Limb here, and that's very greedy, because these ads are not very tricky, they don't need to die that quickly, so using Abomination Limb is a, I don't know, bit greedy, not the best play, I'd say. So now this big guy, it's crucial to help the boss kite the ads, and therefore I'm using lots and lots of Chains of Ice, which is a incredibly good slow. You also saw me use Fleshcraft there. That's because in this dungeon, some of the what are they called? The slimes. When they die, you can use fleshcraft on top of them and give your group a buff. So these ones at the start, they give you, I think it's extra magic damage, chance and extra magic damage, something along those lines. Alright, so a couple of packs left, and then we're going for boss. Again, these ads are pretty easy. I think I can pop cooldowns here, because we're going to kill the big guy anyway, and this means I will have cooldowns up for boss, which is something you kind of always want to try and do. You can see there I got Armory back up again, so for Plaguefall you can pretty much always Armory the first pack and then have it up for the first boss. And that's something that's true for most dungeons. Maybe Necrotic Wake is the only one where the boss comes up so quickly that using Armory in the first pack is a bad idea. Otherwise you can pretty much always use Armory in the first pack, as long as you're running the Army of the Damned talent. Alright, so looking good here. I actually don't have Apocalypse up here, which it's unfortunate, but I'm still going to do... No, sorry. Look at that. We got a Pride, which means that Apocalypse will be off for boss. I'm probably going to be greedy here. Save all my cooldowns for boss so I can burst on that. I feel like generally you don't need to spend too many cooldowns on prideful. If it's like a single prideful like this, it's generally an easy thing to kill. So there's no reason to spend lots of cooldowns. Oh, look at that. I got hit. That was bad. But as you can see, I got that corrosive gonk. That's from my fleshcraft ability, using a top on slime. Gives some extra damage to everyone. Alright, so for the boss, this is just going to go down so quickly. Open up with Army, and then do the normal single table opener with some Infectious Strike, and then popping down all my cooldowns with a pop, with a pot and everything. I'm using Death's Advance there for the first knockback. That's something you can do. You don't need Death's Advance for anything else. You can just use it to avoid getting knocked back and get some extra damage in there. And you can see the boss is just melting here. I'm at 13k DPS. Army deals like 125k damage. It's very powerful. We don't even need to care about any of the ads because it dies so quickly. Alright, great. Let's see, so on to the next pack. Cooldowns are coming up. Probably going to open up with Blight and Dark Transformation, as we normally do. Alright. That looks good. Actually using Death Coil there, there's 4 targets. I got Deadliest Coil, so I'm trying to extend that Dark Transformation duration. If you're running Frenzy Monstrosity, you will prioritize Epidemic quite a lot more. You can see that the pet damage is my main damage component. For these little guys, you can just run on top of them and they will die. So no need to kill them. Just stomp them with your feet. Easy as that. Alright, so this turned out to be quite a prolonged pack, but that's fine for us. We were able to pop our cooldowns twice in it, deal a significant amount of damage, and again, using quite a lot of Death Calls. When it comes to Death Call versus Epidemic usage, it's a tricky choice. Deadliest Coil is a bit easier, because you gain direct damage by pressing Death Call and extending Dark Transformation, right? However, when you're running Frenzy Monstrosity, you also gain the Dark Transformation cooldown reduction, right? And that's significant. It's not so significant that you should prioritize Death Call all the time, because Epidemic deals a ton of damage, but there's definite value in pressing Death Call to reduce the cooldown Dark Transformation. I think it depends heavily on how you pull, but what happens if you don't press Epidemic that much? You will have desync on your cooldowns, and that's something you really don't want to do. And if you don't desync specifically, you're going to end up having to wait quite a long time to use your Blight plus Dark Transformation combo. So for this pull, I think we're going to wipe, because I think there was a patrol that came by that we pulled. It's unfortunate, but it happens. It's a quick wipe, so it won't ruin the dungeon for us. But yeah, a bit sad. I think we'll make it next time easily. It was just that spine break, I think, which was unexpected. I'm getting some annoying combat right when I respawn. But yeah, we're just going to reset and continue. So you can see in my army timer down below my target portrait that army is about to come up. So let's see if I'm going to leverage army or I'm going to wait for the next boss. If I can remember correctly, I think I'm going to use army on like a pack of 2 easy mobs. So I pretty much completely waste it. But the thing is that I will have it up for the next boss. So it's a free use, free damage. Why not just use it? Let's see. It would probably be good if I use army on the spine breaker. So let's see if I do that or if I mess it up, so to speak. It's not a complete mess up because it's better to use it than not use it. But it's ideal if you can use it for some priority damage, priority target. One important thing, you might think that I pop my cooldowns too often, but it's crucial to leverage your cooldowns properly. So that was an interesting Death and Decay, right? I don't know why I used that, because there was no cleave. Yeah, who knows? Alright. So, popping Abomination Limb here to get some good burst on this big guy. Ideally, you want to pop Limb with your other cooldowns, but it's fine to use it on its own. It's so powerful. And it's not great on single target, but as I said before, it's better to use your cooldowns and get some damage than just hold them and lose lots and lots of casts of them, right? Okay, so I think we're coming up to a interesting armor usage. There we go, I used it on these 2 ads, which die extremely quickly, so I get like no value for my army. But as I said, it's better to use your armor twice, and one of the uses are quite bad, than just use it once, right? It's free damage, why not leverage it? What I should have done is use it on the big guy back there. Would have gotten much more damage because he lived for a significant amount of time. But it is what it is, right? Yeah, it's always sad to look at myself and not dodge these big red arrows, because it's the only thing you need to pay attention to here. So not dodging those is a bad habit. When it comes to anti-magic zone usage, Prideful is a great opportunity to leverage it. It deals AoE damage, AoE magic damage, so using AMZ will directly reduce the damage intake. I tend to use it at around 50%. That makes sure that it's actually used for its full duration, but it also makes sure that you get it when the Prideful has lots of stacks. If you wait too long, the Pride is going to die before you've actually reduced any damage. If you pop it at the start, it won't have many stacks, so you won't reduce that much damage. So around 50%, I feel like that's a good place to be. Right, these tentacles, when they pick up a guy, you can stun them, and the guy who's picked up, he just gets put down again. Alright, So we see another Abomination Limb, which is desync from my other cooldowns. I feel like this is fine. You don't want to put all the cooldowns and then have nothing on the other pack. It's generally better to be more consistent throughout. And that's what I achieve by sometimes desyncing my Abomination Limb. Right, for this boss, it's important when you kill the trash that you know the boss can jump to any platform at any given time. So what you see us doing is run to the other side of these platforms behind the trees and kill the ads there. All right. Decent no cooldown pull. I got my Apocalypse, so might as well pop that down, get some damage done. But otherwise, I'm just making sure that I got my cooldowns up for the next pull. So using some Death Calls to reduce the Dark Transformation cooldown. So for this back, this congealed slime reduces the damage everyone else takes by a lot. So what you should be doing, which is not what I am doing, is focus the congealed slime. So make sure to have that slime as your primary target, so you get your melee autos and your single target damage out on it. These ads can also be soaked with Fleshcraft to give you a buff. So if you soak the congealed slime, it gives a damage reduction boost to your party, which you can see me leveraging here. Reduces allies damage taken by 10%. It's pretty good. It's not insignificant. I'm actually not sure what the Pestilence Slime does, because I think you can soak that one as well. And it's probably better to do that so you get some damage increase, but I'm not 100% sure. Gonna have to test exactly what the Pestilence Slime does. Alright, so we're staying behind the trees, and that allows us to pull the trash without having to be careful about the boss jumping over and us accidentally pulling the boss. It would be a disaster to pull the boss with a pack of ads. So we're just going to wait here patiently and then pull. So I can't see because of my tooltip when the next prideful is going to come in, but I think we might get a prideful into the boss. Prideful in 5%. Seems like we don't. I still use my cooldowns here. Generally, you don't use your cooldowns in the first phase of this boss, because what's important is to kill the explosion ads whenever the boss jumps. You can see me there planning to leverage my Death Grip in order to grip out a caster from Sanguine. This is a good idea to make sure the caster doesn't get stuck and heals in Sanguine. So how I think I was planning to wait with my army until we jump across, but they pop lost, so I'm obviously going to pop army, otherwise I'm going to lose lots and lots of damage. Alright, as soon as you jump across, I leverage my Wraith Walk to close that distance, and then attack the Plague Bomb. It's crucial here to make sure your pets attack the Plague Bomb as well. So I got this macro on my X button. It's actually not a macro, it's just pet attack, which you get from the spellbook. And I just press that, make sure my pets attack the target I want them to attack. Again, Congealed Slime, make sure your pets attack Congealed Slime. It's easier for them to attack Ichus and then deal no damage, because Ichus takes less damage when Congealed Slime is nearby. Right, he's going to do one more jump. We're going to run over there, focus down the explosion ad, and then we are done with this boss. Alright, here I'm pressing the X, and you can see my little pet is moving across as he should. When the boss is jumping like this, I always make sure to create some distance between myself and the place where the boss lands. This makes it much easier to dodge any of the radiating damage thingies. grip away the slime and slow it to make sure we can just nuke down the boss. And that's that fight. Great. Now onto some more trash. We can see that we have prideful and something like 2%, but that's generally not something we take into too much consideration. There's not a boss coming up anytime soon, so we don't need to save cooldowns or anything like that. So I think I actually pressed my pet stun button there. I should really have that bound, you know, but there's lots of binds to take into consideration, but I should put it down there. You know, one fun thing with this run is I think after I did it, I realized that I'd completely forgotten to use my trinket. You know, we all make mistakes, right? So what happened is that I usually have it down right below right to the side of my outbreak button, and for some reason, I think I created a macro, and then I logged off by exiting my client without logging off, and that doesn't save the macro. So when I log back in, there's no macro there, and then I kind of just forgot about it. So yeah, I do run the overwhelming power crystal, but I don't use it a single time in this run. So good fun fact for you guys: everyone can make mistakes, especially me apparently. Okay, quite a normal pack. Go in, get some festerings off, jump our runic power, and then go into death and decay window. Same thing as we do pretty much every time. I chose to not use my Unholy blighter, so I could actually leverage it on a pack which is a bit more difficult. I wouldn't have dealt too much more damage there. These guys can be interrupted with death grip. That's good to know. So whenever they start channeling, just use death grip to interrupt them. Alright, the Brood Ambusher, they would cast this Stealthlings cast, and if that goes through, you have this passion ground where there's like loads and loads of little spiders. So what's very nice as a Unholy DK is run there, make sure they're all revealed, and then just apply Outbreak and spam Epidemic, and it's very easy to kill them all very quickly. You can see me again, I leverage my Death Grip in order to interrupt the cast there. Alright, run in, Outbreak, and then just Epidemic, and they die very quickly. Alright, so let's talk about this next boss, because he's a bit tricky if you're not familiar with the tactics. He will spawn a couple of ads which are hidden in view, and what you need to do is walk over there to trigger them to exit their stealth and go hit the tank. You can either do this by running across them, or you can do so by damaging them with some AoE ability. And for Unholy DKs, that means leveraging Death and Decay in order to get these guys out of their stealth from range. You will see me do it in this fight, and I'll make sure to draw your attention to it when it comes. If they're close by, you can actually get two of them out at the same time, which is very nice. They just sit there and continuously cast damage on you. So getting them out is a very good idea. That's also why the tank generally should be tanking the boss close to the middle of the room. It makes it easier for you to walk out and get these spiders out of stealth. Alright, just make sure to finish this pack off. I'm not popping any cooldowns here, saving everything for the boss, obviously. Alright, it seems like we are going to pull some more trash. You need a specific percentage before you get down. I think we actually hit that exactly in this run, so it's going to be a good reference for you guys to know how much you need before you walk downstairs. It's a big mistake if you end up not having the percentage and have to walk back up. It's just going to be a big waste of time. So we're doing quite good on time here. We've got 14 minutes left to go. This is going to be an easy clear. We'll see if we get +2, but I don't think we do. I'm greedy on this prideful. I know we're going to leverage the buff to kill the boss, so I'm not popping any cooldowns. Oh, hang on. It seems like I should have been greedy, because we are going to hit the boss afterwards. Ah, sorry. Okay. This is an important thing. You might notice we do not have the capability of using Bloodlust on this boss. That makes it less important to pop your cooldowns at the start of the encounter. In this case, I can actually do that. That's fine. But like, if you don't have Lust for a boss, you could pop your army 30 seconds into the prideful bot and still get the most out of it. Alright, so I got this ambush, need to walk out. You could use IBF before that happens in order to avoid getting stunned. You can see here. So let's see, can I use my Death and Decay here? There we go. So Death and Decay gets them out of stealth instantly. It unfortunately makes it so that you can't cleave the ads, but that's fine. It's more important to... Alright, there was a bit of a break in the comm there. Hope that was fine. Alright, coming to the end of this boss. This is fortified, so we're able to burst it down very heavily, especially as an Unholy DK. You got Army, and that's just very, very powerful. You can leverage AMS to avoid the stun here as well, so either IBF or AMS works fine. Well, that was a late Death and Decay, wasn't it? Would have been better to use it earlier. Boss about to die. Let's see if we use our Apocalypse or if we save it. No. We're saving Apocalypse. It died too quickly. Alright, so are we going down or are we killing more? No, we're killing more. Turn back. Have a look at the tank. There he is. Right, we need a couple more % before we move down. What we're going to do, I think, is when we get down, we can actually go pull some slimes, which are like on the way back up. So it's not only the trash that you actually need to pull in order to get to the boss that give you percentage down there. And that's good to know. If you walk down and you realize you don't have the percentage, there are 2 slimes you can kill. And you're going to see us do that in this run. The next couple of trash, especially those close to the boss, are really deadly. They melee so damn hard. So what's very important is to make sure you do not gain aggro. It's very easy to do because the tank will be kiting most likely. So just make sure to keep track of the aggro and yeah, be careful. So you can see we walk the wrong way and we're pulling these 2 slimes to get the percentage we need in order to complete the dungeon. And you can see that's a congealed slime, so that's the one I should be targeting because it applies damage reduction to any allies around it. I'm not sure if it was intended to pull the pestilence slime as well. So there we go, use some fleshcraft, getting that buff for everyone. Just helping out where we can as a Necrolord in this dungeon. So we've got 240 left for +2, so it seems like we won't make that timer. But it's still going to be a solid run without any major hiccups. We did have that wipe when we died because of the patrol in the water. But other than that, I feel like there's been no major mistakes, essentially. Well, major mistakes, I haven't used my trinket a single time. That could be considered major, but it's... it doesn't matter too much in the big picture. Alright, so these ads, let's be careful. Let's do not pull aggro. And that's quite nice of Death Knight. So what happens there is that you can apply your dot to all these small ads, and then you can run away and just spam Epidemic, right? And you can even hit the ad that's following the tank, and then leverage Epidemic on the small ads. That's quite nice. I tend to have that situation come up relatively often. That it's a messy pool, stuff is just all over the place. But what you can do as a Death Knight, as an Unholy Death Knight, is just hit some random mob and then leverage Epidemic to hit everything else. And that kind of keeps you out of harm's way, makes it easier to deal damage, and makes it more difficult to die because of, mechanics sort of things. So you can possibly notice that I try to not stay too close to these guys, but the aggro isn't an issue here, so I'm probably fine. I can see it hit almost 100%, so seems like I shouldn't speak too soon. Now on the final boss, Death Knights can leverage two major things. We have Anti-Magic Zone, which is just very, very good for the Rain ability. Can't remember the exact name, we'll have to see it, but it deals a ton of magic damage, and Anti-Magic Zone is great to reduce that magic damage. Furthermore, you can leverage Anti-Magic Shell to simply avoid the application of the ability. So you can help out your healer quite significantly by popping down AMS, and then, not take any damage at all. Specifically for Tentacle, it's a huge, huge help for your healer to have one target which simply doesn't take any damage from the ability. Unfortunately, you can't use Anti-Magic Cell for every one, so it's only every second one if you get that far, if the boss takes that long. Alright, so we're going to get the prideful here. It's generally fine. So, pridefulls, they take, 30 seconds. So we can generally safely use Blight and Dark Transformation, and then we'll have them up in, 5 or 10 seconds of the boss. And that's completely fine. So generally, always good, always fine to use Blight and Dark Transformation on a Pride before a boss. Obviously depends on your overall DPS. If you just murder the Pride, it's a bad idea. Apocalypse, it's a bit trickier. The cooldown's a bit too long, so don't use Apocalypse on a Prideful just before a boss where you're going to use Bloodlust and everything. Alright, ready to go. And we're popping up Army. Lovely. Following up with all our cooldowns. I popped Apocalypse a bit earlier. Should come after Blight generally, but it doesn't matter too much. The boss is going to jump down at 67% anyway, so cooldowns doesn't matter too much anyway. In this phase, my main priority is just dodging the tentacles, and then also leveraging quite a lot of chainsaw eyes to help slow these ads so they don't accidentally go melee someone. Alright, boss coming up again, and we're going to have the Infectious Rain, that's what it's called. So let's have a look and see if I immune this one with AMS. I believe I will, but who knows. This is a great time to leverage Death and Decay to get some free cleave down. And we see that I do make sure to do that. We've got the Rain coming in, I'm popping down AMS. You can see top right, I'm not getting any more debuffs. So everyone else is struggling. Oh, not struggling really, but they're taking lots of damage. I'm taking 0. Alright, final tentacle phase. I'm just making sure to put myself to safety as soon as possible. Oop, 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 run away. Right. Can't get too focused on saving everyone else. Okay. Not taking any chances here. I could have run the other way around and been here quicker, but it's much better to just be safe about it, right? Alright, now we're just burning the boss. Looks like my pet died, which is unfortunate. Using aim Z for the Infectious Rain, as I said before, it helps a lot. And now also focusing on just dodging the tentacles, having that as my priority. Alright, the boss is about to go down. We did have a death, but no worries. It's 5% left. And that's it. Great job. Passed bicep pump. Alright, Hope you guys enjoyed that. As always, leave a comment down below if you have any questions or anything to say. You can always find me on the Acros Discord. Do subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of content, and do leave an upvote or downvote depending on what you thought about this. Also, do tell me if you thought this was better, having the commentary after the dungeon itself. And yeah, stay tuned for more content. Thank you.